Hello, I'm Neil.
And I'm Georgie. Welcome to Real Easy English.
You can find a worksheet and transcript for this episode on our website, bbclearningenglish.com.
Hello, Neil. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Georgie. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. Neil, today we're talking about cities. We both live and work in London, which is a very big city.
It is. It's a huge city, very busy and bustling. Bustling means there's lots of activity, lots of things going on, busy.
Speaking of, what do you like about living in a big, bustling city?
Well, there are lots of good things about living in a big city. It's convenient. It's very convenient. So there is lots of public transport, which is sometimes good. And you can get things that you need quite easily.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also a lot of things to do. We are lucky in London to have lots of theatres where you can see plays. There's a really good music scene, so you can watch and listen to a lot of live music. If you have no plans on a day, you can always find plans, spontaneous plans. So we are really lucky in that sense.
Yeah. And if you like art, there's all kinds of exhibitions and galleries and museums.
Lots of good things, but there are obviously some bad things about living in a city, aren't there?
Yes.
Do you want to tell us some?
Yeah. Well, it's very noisy
Mm-hmm.
and dirty
Yep.
and busy and expensive.
Yeah.
It's always more expensive in a big city, especially the capital city. So you can do all of the things that we just talked about,
Yeah.
but you have to pay for
Yeah.
them. And things like eating out, especially going for a drink, is a really expensive thing to do in a capital city.
I feel like every time I leave the house, I just spend loads of money. And that is quite frustrating. But you have to pay for good times, I guess.
Yeah. Have you ever lived in another city apart from London?
Yes, I have. I used to live in Barcelona, which is quite different to London because, well, it has a beach and the sea on one side, and on the other side, it has mountains. So it's contained by nature, and you can get to the nature quite quickly, which is really nice. What about you? Have you lived anywhere different?
Yeah, I've lived in a few big cities, a few capital cities, actually. I've also lived in Spain, but in Madrid. I lived and worked in Prague, and that is a really it's a beautiful city.
Yeah.
The architecture looks fantastic.
Nice buildings. Talking about nice buildings, I lived in Edinburgh because I did my master's degree there, and that has beautiful buildings. I loved that city. It has a castle on a big rock in the middle, and it's just amazing to look at. So we've talked about cities we've been to. What about the future? Are there any cities you really want to visit or maybe even live in?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I've never been to Georgia or Armenia or that part of the world. So I'm going to say I'd like to go to Tbilisi in Georgia.
That's a good answer. I'd love to go there as well. For me, I'm desperate to go to Latin America. I really want to go to Rio de Janeiro and at the time when the carnival is there because that sounds really fun and I like to party. Let's recap the vocabulary we heard during the conversation, starting with bustling, which means busy with lots of people and activity.
We also heard convenient. If something is convenient, it means it's very easy to do it. For example, There's lots of public transport in London, so it's convenient for travel.
And we talked about possible plans for the future using would like to.
For example, I'd like to visit Tbilisi in Georgia.
That's it for this episode of Real Easy English, but we'll be back next week with another conversation in easy English.
And you should check out our series, The London to Edinburgh Challenge. We've been talking about Edinburgh today. It's a beautiful place and you can see it in this series. It's on our website, bbclearningenglish.com.
Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.